Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. This is a video on monthly policy review, also known as MPR, which is being released by PRS Legislative Research every month. I'll be discussing MPR for the month of April. MPR is something very important for all the aspirants who are preparing for civil services examination. It will help you at the both stages, either it is prelims or mains examination. So let's get started with the series. Briefly about the PRS Legislative Research. This was an independent research initiative that was founded in 2005, and it aims to strengthen the legislative process. It assists the Member of Parliament, and it is based in New Delhi. We are taking the source of reference from PRS. The reason being I'm giving you a brief about the PRS Legislative Research. So if you're new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do not forget to press a like button. So the first article or news is Cabinet approved continuation of PM Swanidhi, something very important which is helping the street vendors to make them more self-reliant, more Atmanirbhar. So recently the Union Cabinet has approved the continuation of PM Swanidhi scheme beyond the time that earlier it was anticipated to continue till March 2022. Now the government has extended it till December 2024, right? Initially, basically the sole purpose of this scheme was to facilitate the loan worth of 5,000 crore rupees. Now the government has made a revision on the loan amount as well, and it has further increased to 8,100 crore rupees. So these are some of the basic factual information that you must take a note of. Now, what is PM Swanidhi? Basically, it was launched in June 2020 to provide the collateral-free loan, working capital loan up to 10,000 rupees to the street vendors, especially to ensure कि उनकी जो livelihood की problems है वो नहीं आए. The scheme was launched to provide financial assistance to street vendors, which was affected due to the COVID-19. And the vendors availing the loan under the scheme were eligible for an interest subsidy of only 7%. Right? So this is something that has helped a lot many vendors and even to sustain their livelihood. Extension की गई है इस स्कीम की considering the present situation. We are almost recovering. India is on a post recovery with the COVID-19 pandemic. तो street vendors के को ध्यान में रखते हुए गवर्नमेंट ने इस प्रोग्राम को extend किया है, and the scheme has been extended to provide a source of credit to increase the digital transition in economy and even to reduce the impact of non-performing assets on the lending institutions. Now, to give you a brief with this infograph, loan tenor is for 1 year on the working capital. Interest subsidy, मैंने आपको बताई, this is 7% per annum. Make sure you take a note of this because in many competitive examination, they can ask you this number also. Monthly cashback initiative up to 100 rupees on digital transactions. Higher loan eligibility on timely payment and repayment, and covers both urban local bodies across the countries. So these are some of the salient feature of PM Swanidhi scheme. And moving ahead, that is e-boarding or DG Yatra. Recently, the Director General of Civil Aviation has issued the implementation of e-boarding pass, that is DG Yatra. क्या है ये DG Yatra? DG Yatra एक digital ecosystem create करेगी where it would have a paperless processing of the passenger checkpoints such as entry, security check, boarding pass at airport. Already e-check-in आप कर सकते थे कई official website से जो airlines आपने book की है उसके tickets में आप उनके websites पे जाके you can have a e-check-in, right? Now the government is coming with a DG Yatra which will give a lot more other facilities where the security check, entry check and the boarding can be there at the same point. Now some key features of this Yatra. तो बात करें क्रीडेंशियल की, द पैसेंजर्स नीड नॉट टू बी इंडियन मे क्रिएट अ डीजी यात्रा क्रीडेंशियल विद आइडेंटिकल डेटा, ट्रैवल डेटा एंड हेल्थ डेटा. और ये सारी जो डेटा होगी ये टैग्ड होगी विद द यूनिक बायोमेट्रिक सिग्नेचर ऑफ अ पैसेंजर एंड द क्रीडेंशियल विल बी स्टोर्ड विद अ सिक्योर वॉलेट एंड अ स्मार्टफोन. सो दीज कैन बी एक्सेसिबल वाया app or any data that is being gathered in the smartphone. There's no credential storage for the passengers data, or जो credential है that will be shared only with the airport, airlines and regulatory agencies if required at timely interval. Because privacy of individual data is very important. We have already seen Supreme Court judgment where In case Puttaswamy cases, it has been categorically stated about the right to privacy. Now, requirements की अगर बात करें, airline must work with DG Yatra Central ecosystem to create and receive the credentials of a passenger of a domestic travels. और ये later extend की जाएगी for international travelers also. The passenger will have an options to submit the health certificate with the DG Yatra also. Now, RBI has recently started the credit and debit card insurance conduct direction 2022. We'll see some detail with regards to this. So recently, the Reserve Bank of India has notified Reserve Bank of India credit and debit card. So this is an insurance credit direction that would be coming from the RBI. So the direction regulate who can issue the credit card and who can use it, right? So these are the basic criteria upon which it would be giving a directions, and the direction will come effect from July 1, 2022. This is what the RBI has to cone. It is new regulation. कुछ की फीचर्स की अगर बात करें इस पर्टिकुलर प्रोविजंस की और इस रूल्स की, फर्स्ट इज द एंटिटी दैट इज एलिजिबल टू इशूज द क्रेडिट कार्ड. सो कौन कौन से ऐसे एंटिटी होंगे जो क्रेडिट कार्ड इशू कर पाएंगे? फर्स्ट वुड बी द SCB, दैट इज शेड्यूल्ड कमर्शियल बैंक विथ अ मिनिमम नेट वर्थ ऑफ 100 crore rupees and other than the regional rural bank. Now second, RRB in collaborations with their sponsor bank and other banks, जो NBFC and non-banking financial companies after the approval from the RBI, so a prior consent and approval is mandatory for the NBFC, and financial sound urban cooperative banks subject to certain restrictions. So ये आपके prelims point of view से भी काफी important. Now unsolicited facilities that again would be prohibited. The issues of unsolicited credit card would not be allowed. Upgradation of credit card limit enhancement without explicit consent of the customer cannot be provided, and bank will be liable to pay penalty as well as compensation to the affected customer in case of above activities. Now debit card की specifically अगर बात करें, bank do not have requirement for the approval from the RBI to issue the debit card. बैंक के पास ये already provisions है, power है RBI के act में कि banks debit card दे सकती हैं. Now debit card may be issued to customer with saving or current account, but not to the cash credit or loan account holders. ऐसे किसी individual जिसकी loan account चल रही है उसको बैंक credit card, basically debit card नहीं दे सकती है. I'm talking about debit card. Right? So instead of plastic debit card, the issuers may provide other form of facilities such as wearables. Now co-branded cards, you have seen recent में अभी क्या हो रही है, कोई भी private banks हैं जिन्होंने अपनी co-branding की है. You have seen ICICI has branded with Amazon, Flipkart has basically collaborated with Axis Bank. तो इस तरह के cards को co-brands card कहते हैं. Prior to the approval of the RBI, they will not required to issue the co-branded credit or debit card. Co-brand card are jointly issued by the bank or the NBFC or co-branding entity. Now, both the entity must be explicitly indicating the credit or debit card has been issued under the co-brand arrangement. तो किसी भी डेबिट कार्ड या क्रेडिट कार्ड में अगर आपको दोनों पर्टिकुलर कंपनीज की लोगो दिख रही है तो यू कैन इजीली मेक आउट कि दिस इज अ co-branding cards. Additionally, the card issuer's name must be prominently displayed on the card. Specifically, if you look into any credit card which has a co-branding, दोनों right hand side और left hand side में दोनों companies की logo mandatory है. Now the other news, that is report on Wildlife Protection Amendment Bill 2021. So the Standing Committee on Science and Technology and Environment, Forest, Climate Change has submitted its report on Wildlife Protection Amendment Bill 2021. This was introduced in Lok Sabha last year, that is in December 2021. और ये जो बिल की पूरी कोशिश है to amend the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. So some of the most important point which I'll be discussing in this topic would be again important for your prelims examination. What is the aim of this bill? So the act provides for the protection of wildlife, birds and plant. और ये बिल कोशिश कर रही है to implement the conservation on international trade and endangered species of wildlife fauna, also known as CITES, protection of native Indian species and improve enforcement of law. कुछ recommendations जो कमिटी ने basically दी है पार्लियामेंट को. Implementing CITES is again something very important. Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wildlife is an international agreement जो कि ensure करेगी international trade in the specimen of wildlife that does not threaten the survival of a species. सो जो साइट से रिलेटेड क्वेश्चन है वो आपके इन्वायरमेंट सेक्शन में और करंट अफेयर्स दोनों में इंपॉर्टेंट है. सो मेक श्योर यू गेट सम डिटेल अबाउट दिस एग्रीमेंट ऑल्सो. द कमिटी ऑब्जर्व दैट amending the Biological Diversity Act 2002 would have been more appropriate way to implement the sites. तो एक recommendations दी गई है कि जो DBA है उसमें भी changes लाए जाए ताकि proper implementations हो सके sites की और even इसके sustainable use हो सके biodiversity में. It has observed that to approach under the bill will make a principal act complicated that might introduce the contradiction. So we need to work in a way that it should be hassle free to implement the entire site basically जो provisions है, जो rules and regulations है. Now, to address this concern, committee has recommended some important points. First is to amend the relevant sections of Wildlife Protection Act of 1972 without introducing an elaborate chapter proposing on the bill. उसके अलावा eliminating Schedule 4 of 21, that is replacing the references of Schedule 4 in the sites appendix or entire bill. तीसरी recommendations की है Schedule 4 of the list specimen listed in the site appendix. And the last is under the sites, plants, animal and specimen are classified on appendix based on their threat to their extinctions. तो ये कुछ technical recommendations हैं that again is not that relevant for your examination purpose, but you should know some basic idea about this. Now protection of native Indian gene pool की बात की गई है. तो bill empower करती है central government को ये regulate कर सकती है for import, trade and possession, proliferation of an invasive alien species, and it defined the invasive alien species as plant or animal which are not native to India, whose introduction may be adverse impacting the entire wildlife element or you can say the habitat. The committee has observed कि जो invasive alien species होते हैं, they must be existing within the country with regard to particular ecosystem, and it has also recommended that having a scientific and transparent process of listing and delisting the invasive alien species would enable the formation of specific management and measures. उसके अलावा it will bring the clarity on sites specifying don't facilitating the breed and trade to the native Indian species. Now the other news or article is draft bill to implement Cape Town Conventions. So the Ministry of Civil Aviation has invited public feedback on draft protection and enforcement of interest for the aircraft objection bill 2022. ये बिल कोशिश ये करेगी to implement the provisions of the convention on international interest and mobile equipments जहाँ पे केप टाउन कन्वेंशंस के थ्रू ये पर्टिकुलर पूरी प्रोटोकॉल को इम्प्लीमेंट करने की कोशिश की जाएगी. हाउ इट विल बी इम्प्लीमेंटेड विल सी दैट. What is the aim of this bill? First and foremost, the convention aimed to achieve an efficient financing of aircraft object, चाहे वो airframes हो, helicopters हो या engines हो, to improve their affordability and operation, right? Second, that India can become a party to convention protocol that was there in July 2008. So if it is being asked in examination कि इंडिया की क्या स्टैंड है तो आप आराम से इसको लिख सकते हैं. As per the ministry, achieving full implementation of the convention protocol in India required a separate legislation that will harmonize with other laws such as Company Act 2013, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016. Objective क्या होगी इस बिल की? First is to reduce the risk of asset-based financing on leasing transition. Second is to reduce the cost of aviation credit. Third, to lease the rental of the aircraft. So this is a problem which has been seen with Indian aircraft. Mostly जितने भी aircraft आप देखते हैं, चाहे वो स्पाइस जेट हो, इंडिगो हो, ये सारे leased out rental aircrafts होते हैं. The draft bill will apply a debitor situation in India, selling situated in India an aircraft object with located in the aircraft register of India. The bill will imply that even the creditor issues the country and not to the party or convention of the protocol. So this aims to regulate the entire functioning and it will also ensure कि जो इंडिया में जिस तरह से एयरक्राफ्ट काम कर रही है, जो उनके रेंटल प्रोसेसेस हैं या जो कन्वेंशन है, उस ड्यू प्रोसेस को पूरी तरह से इंप्लीमेंट किया जाए. Now some key features like remedies for the creditors. When a debitor defaults on a contract, creditor must declare the occurrence of a default to the DCGA, that is Director General of Civil Aviation, और remedial option creditor के पास available होगी, which is like to take repossession of a control aircraft जो उसने lease दी है उसको वो वापस ले सकते हैं, to sell or grant lease of an aircraft और कलेक्ट एनी इनकम और प्रॉफिट ऑफ द मैनेजमेंट ऑफ सच एयरक्राफ्ट ऑब्जेक्ट। तो उस मैनेजमेंट में जितनी भी प्रॉफिट जो कंपनीज की प्रॉफिट होगी उसको ये क्रेडिटर्स ले सकते हैं अगर उसने पूरी तरह से रीपेमेंट नहीं की। Now, relief before the financial determination. Before the final adjustment of the claim, creditor may move to the court with an agreement with the debtors on certain remedies. और remedies क्या क्या होंगी? To preserve the aircraft objects and values, possession, control and custody of the aircraft object, or lease management of aircraft object and income from it. Fortified rice across the government scheme. This is what the government has come up with, a good initiative that will definitely provide nutritional security to a lot more population. The Union Cabinet has recently approved the supply of fortified rice through the PDS, that is the public distribution system across the country by 2024. So this is the timeline that government has come up with. And the central government will bear the entire cost of the food subsidy, and the costing is around 2700 crore rupees annually. फोर्टिफाइड राइस के बारे में अगर बात करें, फोर्टिफाइड राइस एक प्रोसेस होती है जहाँ पे माइक्रो न्यूट्रिएंट्स जो होती है राइस की बढ़ाई जाती है अकॉर्डिंगली जिस चीज़ की भी ज़रूरत है। मोस्टली इंडिया में जो फोर्टिफाइड राइस होती हैं दैट हैज़ अ गुड अमाउंट ऑफ आयरन, फॉलिक एसिड, विटामिन B12 एंड दैट इज एडिड टू राइस टू ओवरकम द प्रॉब्लम ऑफ मैल न्यूट्रिशन। सो ये कुछ ऐसी इंपॉर्टेंट माइक्रो न्यूट्रिएंट्स हैं या वाइटामिन्स हैं जो हमारे बॉडी को इसेंशियली ज़रूरत पड़ती है। Now, what is fortified rice? अगर उड़ीसा मॉडल की अगर बात करें मिड डे मील में, फूड कर्नल्स ब्लेंडेड विद 1:100 रेशियो और 100 kg of rice is fortified with 10 gram of irons. Manufacturing by combining the rice powder with iron, और powders converted होते हैं rice kernels में. Micronutrients fortified kernels are assembled. Where fortified rice on-site cooking of Odisha Gajpati district, आप एग्जाम्पल के तौर पे इसे यूज कर सकते हैं. Child across 1449 school in Ganpati district has been covered. Gajapati district is actually the name. Now implementation of the schemes की अगर बात करें, इस बार जो गवर्नमेंट ने इसको 3 फेज में एक्सटेंड करने की बात की है. So this would be included first in integrated child development and Pradhan Mantri Poshan Shakti Nirman and earlier midday meal scheme. This has the deadline for March 2022, which has been extended to 24. Targeted public distribution system welfare schemes in all aspirational high burden district of stunning till March 2023. और TPDS जो targeted public distribution system है वहाँ पे welfare scheme remain to the district March 2024. So this is how the entire scheme would be implemented and extended. Now, draft battery swapping policy, something very important for a country like India where we are looking for the alternative form of vehicles or energy format. So नीति आयोग ने रिसेंटली ड्राफ्ट बैटरी स्वैपिंग पॉलिसी रिलीज की है. हैज नोटेड दैट इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल्स जो इंडिया में है वो ट्रेडिशनली फिक्स्ड बैटरीज पे चलती हैं. फॉरेन कंट्रीज में इवन कंट्री लाइक चाइना, सिंगापुर एंड मेनी अदर कंट्रीज हैज बीन यूजिंग द स्विपिंग पॉलिसीज, राइट. तो बैटरी स्विपिंग की अगर बात करें एक अल्टरनेटिव मैकेनिज्म है. इफ आई कैन शो यू अ पिक्चर यू कैन मेक आउट. ये आप देख सकते हो पिक्चर्स में. ये यहाँ पे आप चार्ज करो बैटरी को अपनी एंड यू कैन ईजिली टेक आउट एंड चार्ज दैट बैटरी. तो यहाँ पे स्विपिंग फैसिलिटी अवेलेबल होती है इंडिविजुअल के पास. सो दिस विड अलाउ टू इन्वॉल्व द चार्ज बैटरीज और जो डिस्चार्ज बैटरी उसको वापस से चार्ज में लगा सकते हैं. दिस डीलिंग चार्जेस ऑफ द बैटरी यूजर्स कीप द व्हीकल्स ऑपरेशनल मॉडल विद नेग्लिजिबल एनी टाइम. डाउन टाइम जो है वो एकदम से कम हो जाती है. द ड्राफ्ट पॉलिसी एम्स टू प्रमोट लार्ज स्केल एडॉप्टेशंस ऑफ बैटरी स्विपिंग टेक्नोलॉजी. क्या एडवांटेजेस हैं बैटरी स्विपिंग टेक्नोलॉजी के? फर्स्ट, इट रिड्यूस द व्हीकल डाउन टाइम. जो बैटरी डाउन होती है या फिर जिसकी जो पूरी पावर है, जितनी बेसिकली कैपेसिटी है उसकी ट्रैवल करने की, वो बढ़ जाती है बिकॉज आपके पास उसको चार्ज करने के लिए एक्स्ट्रा टाइम नहीं देना होता है. रिडक्शन इन द रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ स्पेस फॉर द चार्जिंग स्टेशंस ऑब्जर्व्ड इन द बैटरी स्विपिंग जनरली यूज्ड फॉर द स्मॉलर व्हीकल्स. यहाँ पे 2 व्हीलर्स और 3 व्हीलर्स के लिए, बट कोशिश ये की जा रही है कि 4 व्हीलर्स और इलेक्ट्रिक बसेस के लिए भी ये फैसिलिटीज लाई जाए. Now some key features. इंटरपोर्टेबिलिटी. इंटरपोर्टेबिलिटी का मतलब है कि यहाँ पे इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल्स और दूसरे जगह पे भी स्विपिंग की फैसिलिटी अवेलेबल होगी. दैट इज द पार्ट ऑफ इंटरपोर्टेबिलिटी दैट इज अप्लाइंग हियर. द पॉलिसी विल सपोर्ट बैटरीज यूजिंग एडवांस केमिस्ट्री सेल्स एंड एडिशनल स्पेसिफिकेशन होंगी बैटरी के दैट वुड बी एलिजिबल अंडर दिस पॉलिसी. बैटरी प्रोवाइडर्स विल रिक्वायर to demonstrate end-to-end capabilities between the batteries and other component of the swapping ecosystem. और ये पॉलिसी अलाउ करेगी मल्टीपल डिस्टिंक्ट इंटरपरेबिलिटी, जहाँ पे मार्केट की जो वैल्यू है दैट गिव अ सॉल्यूशंस टू द मार्केट, पीपल हु आर एक्चुअली यूटिलाइजिंग इट वुड गिव अ वन हेड सॉल्यूशन टू देम एज वेल. इंसेंटिव्स की अगर बात करें, इंसेंटिव्स अवेलेबल है फॉर द इलेक्ट्रिकल व्हीकल्स. ऑलरेडी गवर्नमेंट हैज कम अप विद द subsidy on the electric vehicles that would be again extended. The scheme will give subsidy to provide swappability battery services that would be formulated. State government may additionally get subsidy to promote the swapping battery. तो जो states इसको promote करेगी उनके लिए भी advantages हैं, उनको भी incentive दी जाएगी. The land would be provided with promotional rate to the public battery charging stations. Now, draft health data management policy, something again very important. तो नेशनल हेल्थ अथॉरिटी ने पब्लिक फीडबैक के लिए ड्राफ्ट नेशनल मैनेजमेंट पॉलिसी बनाने की बात की अंडर द आयुष्मान भारत डिजिटल मिशन. दिस मिशन वाज लॉन्च्ड बाय द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट इन सितंबर 2021 और ये मिशन एम करती है टू क्रिएट अ आयुष्मान भारत डिजिटल अकाउंट नंबर्स विच वुड बी लिंक्ड विद डिजिटल हेल्थ रिकॉर्ड ऑन अ वॉलंटरी बेसिस. पॉलिसी लेट डाउन करेगी मिनिमम स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ द डेटा प्राइवेसी प्रोटेक्शन दैट विल इंश्योर कंप्लायंस ऑफ द रेलेवेंट लॉज. कुछ की फीचर्स की अगर बात करें इस बिल की, फर्स्ट इज एक्सेप्टेबिलिटी. दिस विल अप्लाई टू ऑल एंटिटीज इंडिविजुअल हु आर द पार्ट ऑफ द मिशन विच इंक्लूड ऑल इंडिविजुअल ऑफ द आयुष्मान भारत हेल्थ अकाउंट. सारे हेल्थ प्रोफेशनल इसके पार्ट होंगे एंड एनी हेल्थ केयर फैसिलिटी विच कलेक्ट स्टोर ट्रांसमिट पर्सनल डेटा. Second is governance structure. The government officer must be designated as a data protection officers of the national digital health ecosystem. और ये जो national digital health ecosystem है, this will refer to an ecosystem of data and infrastructure that aims at achieving the universal health coverage using data, health and infrastructure. और एक डेटा ऑफिसर्स रिक्रूट की जाएगी, उसकी ड्यूटी होगी टू communicate and regulate the external stakeholders of the data privacy issues, serving the escalation point of the decision making on data governance, and there must be a grievance redressal officer to address the problem of an individual. Now, consent framework की बात की गई है. The policy prescribes the principles where regards of the processing and personal data would be there. जो data fiduciary है उसको कम करने की बात की गई. And even the individual should have control over their decision making and even the personal data that is collected for the position. Further, all entities, चाहे वो healthcare professionals हो, companies हो, even government companies हो, must use technology to prevent the security breaches. This is in light of the issues of data privacy of an individual. The technology must comply with the relevant national and international standard. Now, NHDM ecosystem की अगर बात करें, तो you can see this is how it will function. These at the center there would be citizen and patients. उसके साथ कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट कंपोनेंट होंगे, 6 इंपॉर्टेंट कंपोनेंट. फर्स्ट इज प्रोवाइडर, सेकंड इज लीड प्राइवेट एंटिटीज, हेल्थ केयर प्रोफेशनल, नॉन प्रॉफिट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर और इनके पॉलिसी मेकर्स होंगे. तो ये कुछ अकॉर्डिंगली सबके वर्टिकल्स दिए गए हैं. यू कैन पॉज दिस वीडियो और यू कैन टेक स्क्रीनशॉट ऑफ इट सो दैट यू कैन ईजिली रिवाइज. Now, continuation of Rashtriya Gram Swaraj Abhiyan, something again very important to boost the Panchayati Raj institution in our country. So the Union Cabinet has approved the revamped center-sponsored of Rashtriya Gram Swaraj Abhiyan. This aims to strengthen the Panchayati Raj institutions for sustainable development goal, and the scheme will be applicable in all the state and union territories. एम की अगर बात करें स्कीम की, द रिवैम्प्ड स्कीम एम्स टू इनहांस द कैपेबिलिटीज ऑफ इलेक्टेड रिप्रेजेंटेटिव, जो कि एसडीजी के गोल के टारगेट को अचीव करने की कोशिश करेंगे, बीट इट इज पॉवर्टी फ्री विलेज, हेल्दी विलेज और चाइल्ड फ्रेंडली विलेज. और पूरा एम है इस पॉलिसी का, स्कीम का, टू कन्वर्ज द कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग इनिशिएटिव ऑफ अदर मिनिस्ट्रीज, provide evidence-based studies for the Panchayati Raj institutions, undertake activities related to awareness generation, dissemination of government policies. Now, no permanent post, यहाँ पे कोई permanent और specific post नहीं create की गई हैं, so there would be no permanent post that would be created under the scheme. However, need-based contract human resources may be provisionally would be appointed or would be taken into consideration to implement the scheme. और जो revamped scheme है will comprise of state एंड सेंट्रल कंपोनेंट, जहाँ पे 60 और 40 की रेशियो रखी जाएगी. 60 होगी सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट की और 40 जो होगी वो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स की होगी. अब बजट की अगर बात करें, हाउ मच बजट हैज बीन एलोकेटेड. सो द एस्टिमेटेड कॉस्ट ऑफ दिस स्कीम फॉर 2022 to 26, दैट इज डाउन द लाइन द 4 year, इज एस्टिमेटेड टू बी 5,911 करोड़ रुपीस. और जो शेयर होनी है, जो सेंट्रल की शेयर होगी, उसमें 3,700 होगी और स्टेट की सेट 2,211 होगी. So this is all about the budget that would be allocated under the scheme. Now, these are the two infograph about what we have given in detail. So this particular scheme, which is the Grasti Gram Swaraj Abhiyan, the cabinet has approved its continuations. All UTs and state would be the part of it. Financial outlay मैंने आपको बताई है. It will help 2.7 lakh crore rural bodies. It will promote equity, inclusiveness along the social justice, economic development, and it will help to achieve the service delivery and transparency. So this was all about the important aspects of the Rashtriya Gram Swaraj Abhiyan, and this was all about for the PRS for the month of April. We have a lot more other initiatives for you, like daily news and editorial analysis, which I covered from the Hindu and Indian Express, which is again very fruitful if you watch the discussion of the news. IAS Gazette मैगजीन है जो आप हमारे वेबसाइट से डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं IAS ज्ञान से. FCA, PIB, MPR and gist of YOJNA and Kurukshetra would be very soon uploaded in our websites. So these all initiatives will help you to sail through the journey of civil services. If you have any other concern, you can let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.